Hey y'all, what's going on? Well, what's going on with me today is peonies. When I was cleaning up in a flower bed over there, I cut down some Shasta daisy foliage, and under that Shasta daisy foliage, I found a peony that I had forgotten about because it's never bloomed. In fact, I have, 3 or 4 peonies that have never bloomed. So I am going to take matters in my own hands today, using some information that I found on the internet to try to replant these peonies so maybe they will bloom in the spring. So come on with me and let's see what we can get done. The problem with peonies is you cannot plant them too deep. The peonies, I bought these peonies bare roots, and they have what's called eyes on the little roots, and the eyes in the springtime, in the early spring, they grow from those eyes from underground. And if you plant your peonies too deep, they won't bloom for some reason. And I think that all of my peonies are planted too deep because they've never bloomed. I bought these peonies bare root. I don't even know what variety they are. It's been so long ago. It was probably 2021 when I bought these bare root peonies and planted them around. And peonies are one of my favorite flowers, so I really want these little bushes or perennials, I guess that's what they are, perennials. I really want these peonies to thrive and bloom for me, but they're just not doing it. So I'm going to try to dig them up so maybe they will bloom. And I found out from the internet, I don't even know who it was. It was some gardening coach lady I don't know if it was on YouTube or Facebook or somewhere, but she said that September was the time, if you're going to dig your peonies up and move them, that September is the time to do that. And this is the end of September. I think it's September 21st today. So I'm going to do that. So without further ado, I am about to dig these peonies up and put them in a spot where their eyes won't be buried too deep, and hopefully they'll bloom for me next year. Right, I've got my shovel, and I think that's all I'm going to need for this project today is just a shovel and a place to transplant these peonies, or that peony. Let me show you where it is. I don't even know if it's still alive. I don't know if it's going to make it or not, but I don't think it's going to make it in that spot. If it's going to have any chance at all of living, I'm going to need to move it. And it's September, and it's peony moving month. So that's what I'm going to do. This is the little clump of Shasta daisies that I cut down. And the foliage had grown up to, I don't know, probably 2.5, 3 feet tall, and had totally masked this peony. The peony came up in the spring because it did have some growth on it and had some greenery, but then this sedum, I guess, is planted in the same vicinity as the peony. I guess I'll dig it up too, but I'll just put it right back in the hole because sedum will take off and take root wherever you put it. It's not picky. But peonies are. So here we go. Are you kidding me? I thought I videoed me digging this peony up, but I don't think I did. Anyway, this is the peony that I dug up. Now, it has not grown very much. In fact, I think that I might have planted this peony in 2019 or 2020. I don't even know. But it's still alive. You can see the little eyes on it. It has eyes all over it. But you can also see that I had it buried up to here. Now, they say peonies need their eyes exposed or no more than an inch below the soil. So this was definitely buried too deeply. So that may be one reason that it has not bloomed for me. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more in this bed that have not bloomed either. Well, one of them did give me 1.5 blooms this year after 4 or 5 years. So I think I'm going to go in this bed and dig all of these up since it is September, which is the peony moving month. So I think I'll go through here and just kind of raise them up a little bit and get their eyes closer to the surface of the soil or even out of the soil. So perhaps I will get some blooms. But I need to dig a hole for this one. I live and garden in zone 8A, Mississippi. And our summers are hot and humid, and it gets hot quickly. Like it's spring and then bam, it's hot and humid until November. It seems to me that the peonies around this area bloom in April. Like the blooms that I had on, the 1.5 blooms that I had on my peony last year, it bloomed in April. And then after that, it's just a little mass of greenery. And it's not pretty. The peony foliage does not remain pretty throughout the summer. A lot of times it burns up, it gets sunburned. And that's another thing. You can't put it in a shady area because it won't bloom at all. It has to have full sun, and it blooms early. And then after it's bloomed, it looks ugly. But you can't cut all the foliage down because I think that, you know, it needs to, the green leaves need to get the sunshine and stuff to recharge the roots of the peony for next season. So you can't just, after it blooms, cut all the green foliage down. So you need to either plant something around it that will kind of cover up that ugly peony foliage throughout the rest of the summer, or just live with ugly peony foliage, which is what I'll probably do. But I am going to site them in this bed, which is kind of away from my front door. So the ugly foliage won't be the first thing that you see when you walk up to my house later on in the summer. But as you're walking up to my house in the spring, and if the peonies will bloom, you will be able to catch them out of the corner of your eye. I hope this will do the trick. And y'all, this is all an experiment. Everything that I do is an experiment. I'm not professionally trained in garden or flowers. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I'm not afraid to go out and try to do it myself. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, like I said, I am in Mississippi, zone 8A, and it is hot and humid. So wherever you live, your peony foliage might not look so ugly in the summer like it does here. You may be able to even cut some of your peony foliage and use it in flower arrangements and stuff. I've seen people do that before, but not us, because it's... Well, let me show you what it looks like. I'll show you where this peony bed is in relation to my front door. Here's my front door. There's the hydrangea wreath that I made using no money at all. This is the flower bed. This is where I just dug the peony up. Walking along, walking along, walking along. Away from the front door. Okay, this is my hose link hose reel, which is wonderful. These are the peonies that I have in this bed. That foliage looks pretty darn bad. And this foliage looks even worse. Now, this is the one that did have the 1.5 blooms on it this year. And then coming around to this side of the bed, here's another one. That one probably looks the best. And then here is another one. So what I'm going to do is lift these Okay, I've told y'all the game plan. There's nothing to it but to do it. It's time to start digging some holes and lifting some peonies. Let's do it. Okay, here is the first hole. And let's check this depth. If I set this peony in here, just like this, I think that this might be a pretty good, I'm going to raise it up a little bit. I'm going to put a little more soil in there because you know that the soil will settle. And I don't want this peony getting too deep. So let's put some soil around it. Pull a little bit of the mulch back. But see, I'm leaving these two eyes exposed. Do I need to leave the whole darn thing exposed? Maybe I need to pull it on up a little bit more. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think I've just been burying them too deep the whole time. Okay, so a good many of the eyes are exposed. And if I'm doing this wrong, y'all please tell me. It's September 21st, so if I'm doing it wrong, let me know, and I'll be able to go back and do it right, and it'll still be September. If that really matters. Okay, well. All right, one down. 4 more to lift up. Okay, this is the first one to lift. I have pulled the mulch back. Now, we did not have all this mulch, like this thick, in this bed until, I think it was the end of June when we put this mulch in the bed. So the peonies had bloomed, or my peony had done its 1.5 blooms well before this. I think they're just too deep. So let me go in here. Uh-oh. And see, what a bad thing is, I'm under this plum tree, and so there are plum tree roots all under here. Maybe they do have a long tap root. Ah! That didn't sound too good. Let me see. Okay, there's an eye right there. Here's an eye right there. The soil looks pretty good. I'm just going to kind of put it on top of that soil right there and backfill around it. Ouch. All right. Easy peasy. Let's get to the next one. tree root. I'm not going to pull this all the way out of the ground. I'm just going to stick some soil under there to kind of raise these eyes. This is my peony that actually bloomed. Maybe I'll leave it alone. I'll pull this mulch back. And that'll kind of be an experiment to see if it will bloom any better this year. No eyes are exposed. Now I'm gonna pull it up. While I'm doing it, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna raise it, backfill this. Oh! Ooh. I think I just separated my peony. Maybe I'll dig another hole and plant that one. You know, people divide their peonies all the time with no problem. I probably just killed this. I don't know. I don't know. Ooh, this eye is way down here. There's another little piece. Oh well. Can't cry about it now. Okay, those eyes are exposed. Moving on to this one. Okay, I got the peonies lifted, transplanted, and replanted. Maybe they'll do okay. Even the one that I broke off, I put it right here. I don't know if it's going to make it or not. It's wanting to fall over in its hole. I'm watering everything really well because this soil is so dry. But we're supposed to have some rain, I think Wednesday and Thursday. So they say. We shall see. But anyway, if y'all have some peonies that y'all need to either divide or dig up and get the eyes closer to the top of the soil, they say September is the month to do it. So that's why I did it. I think that the peony eyes have to go through a certain amount of chill time or cold hours in order for the plant to bloom like it's supposed to. So that's why, I don't know, I've even heard people in warmer climates putting ice on their peonies at a certain point in time to try to get them the cold time that they need. And if I think about it, maybe I'll do that this winter. But it's getting dark on me. I'm watering these in, and then I'm going to go inside and see what we're going to have for supper. I think I might have done more damage than good here. I don't know. It's not looking very good. Anyway, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. All right, y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.